It's the nation's favourite antiques experts.
Yes, a good weight.
And it smells.
Oh, steady, behind the wheel of a classic car.
Good morning, my lady.
Good morning, Parker.
And a goal to scar Britain for antiques. Whoopsie.
Come on.
The aim to make the biggest profit at auction. But it's no mean feat. There'll be worthy winners.
And valiant losers.
Will it be the high road to glory?
It's about winning.
Or the low road to disaster? Pop, pop. This is the Antiques Road Trip. Beep, beep. Buckle up, road trippers. It's the start of a brand new week of motoring around Great Britain's B roads in pursuit of the finest antiques in the land. In the driving seat today is dealer Stephanie Connell, who's up against road trip old-timer and auctioneer Mr. Philip Searle.
Phil, first road trip together?
How cool is that, Steph? I've been looking forward to this.
Me too.
Our two pros are battling it out in the Lake District, a place close to Steph's heart.
I'm from here.
What do you mean you're from here?
I grew up in this very area, about a mile away from where we're driving now.
So you know all the antique dealers?
I know a few.
Oh,
Maybe
here
I
we
might have a
go,
little bit
here
of
we go.
home advantage.
They're not related to you, are they?
Their trusty carriage is a stunning 1966 Jaguar Mark II.
I love this car because it's more like your glamour, driving around, being a James Bond in the city.
Well, yeah, but this was the real... If you were a London gang and you went to rob a bank, this was the getaway car.
Hang on, what's he suggesting? Let's keep on the right side of the law, eh? Bonnie and Clyde, Steph and Phil, will sally forth from Cockermouth in Cumbria, mosey up to Scotland, and then motor south for a fifth and final auction in Darlington in County Durham.
Right, we've both got £200. What's your plan going to be, other than to whip my bottom?
I'll be lucky if I do, I think.
I'm not sure I'd agree with that.
Today, they're journeying between Cumbria in northwest England, starting in Cockermouth and weaving their way through the Lake District to reach an auction in Crooklands. Our Steph isn't the only star to hail from Cockermouth. Oh no, it's also the birthplace of romantic poet William Wordsworth. Time for Phil to wander lonely as a cloud into Castle Antiques and Curios.
Bye.
Good luck, have a lovely day.
Thanks so much, you two.
To begin. The man in charge in here is Matt. Hi, Matt.
How are you, my friend? Very good. Now, Steph, who I'm with, she comes from Cockermouth.
Oh, right.
She's been teaching me Cumbrian.
Oh, right.
Right? Well, Reet Mara, have you out for un Jan Pun?
Not bad, it needs a bit of work.
Really? I don't actually know what I've just said. What have I just
It
said?
sounded very Scottish.
Yeah, well, I've just...
Are you all right, mate? Anything for a pound? Yeah.
That sounds good to me. And the answer is no.
No.
I'm not sure you've ingratiated yourself, Philip. Move swiftly on.
I do like that. That's trying to be Art Deco, isn't it? Can we get it out? Can I have a look at the back of it?
Yeah, sure.
That's a real
Yeah.
pain.
Oh, things are hotting up.
Those electrics are not good, are they?
Not brilliant.
OK, so it's going to have to be pat tested.
Electrical items need to be tested for safety before they go up for sale at auction. But is it worth the added cost?
How much is that?
95.
I love you, Matt, because you just always keep a straight face here. Can you do 65?
We can bring it down to 70.
OK.
It's one to think about. In the meanwhile, how's Our Lady of the Lakes getting on? She's taking a jaunt in the Jag to Maryport. The town's famously hosted a blues festival that's featured Chuck Berry, Elkie Brooks and Van Morrison.
And I guess that's why they call it the blues.
Can Steph's visit to Maryport Antiques hit the high notes?
A sweet shop. I always wanted one of these when I was a kid. That's aging me. Now it's in an antique shop. It's only £18. I think I only wanted it because it had sweets in it. I wonder if it has the same sweets in now.
What other goodies has owner Ben got up his sleeve?
We do have this this screen here.
Yeah. What do you know about the screen? Because it's kind of looking like it's trying to be Victorian, but I think it looks to me like it's 50s or 60s or something.
It is. I think somebody sort of added little pieces in. It sort of looks very Monty Python-esque in some bits.
Yeah.
Some of the scenes are just you know, they don't match.
They're quite comical.
Yeah.
So what's the price on it?
Well, I've got £125 on it at the moment.
Okay.
But I could bring that down.
Could you bring it right
down.
down?
I think the lowest I could do on it would be 50.
50. Okay. All right. Can I think about it? We'll carry on.
Certainly, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
She's driving a hard bargain. Now, back to Cockermouth. How's Phil getting on?
Do you know what? That's an interesting little thing. So this is a little napkin or serviette holder, and it's made out of silver because it's hallmark. We've got the anchor for Birmingham. And what you do is you slide that little clip up there, then you feed your napkin or serviette in there, pull that down, which grips it, and then you just fit it in your collar. And then you can drop egg, tomato sauce, porridge, and anything else you want to. You can just chuck it down your front, and no one will be any the wiser. I think that's a cool thing. I'm going to put that on my wish list.
Good grief. Remind me never to invite you to supper.
What's this thing here, Matt? It looks like a baby's potty.
Yeah. I believe it's a hat stretcher for making hats. Felt hats. They would put it over the top, steam would be passed through it.
And what's your ticket price on that?
25.
You're not supposed to put it on your head.
Quite a good fit.
Oh, it's crushing me. Hold on. I've got it stuck on my head, Matt. Hold on.
It's another possible.
A lot of these spindle bags, were made not far from Malvern, where I come from, by a man called Philip Clisset. But normally his have got solid seats.
Solid seat, right, OK.
And how much is that?
30...
£38?
£38 we've got on that one.
And what's the very best you can do on that?
Well, 25.
Do you know, I might have to add that to my pile. OK, let's go back and think.
Sure.
Do you know, I'm in an iron about this fire for two reasons. To make it safe and compliant,
Yeah.
they've got to spend £5 pat testing it. They might have to do something with the grill. I've got to pay commission, which means it's got to make 100 quid. I'm just not sure I'm going to do that. I quite like the chair. The chair was...
Well, we can do it for 25.
Can I make you a one-off spirited offer for the chair,
Yeah.
for that, and for that?
OK.
50 quid.
I'll tell you what, 55.
OK, fine.
OK, 55. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Now then, I'm going to give you some money out of the way.
That's a good haul. With £25 for the rocking chair, 10 for the serviette clip, and £20 for the hat stretcher, leaving Phil with £145 to spend. Back in Maryport, and Steph's taking a closer look at that screen.
It's even more random than I thought it would be. You've got Winston Churchill, a dog, a fox. You've got gentlemen, then you've got a plane, elephants. It's really cool, though. It doesn't make any sense, and I know why it reminds Ben of Monty Python, because it is so random. I really like it, though. It's super fun.
It's certainly quirky.
Interesting. So, Wedgwood Jasperware, something that you see absolutely everywhere. You see in lots and lots of antique shops, lots and lots of people's homes. But I think what most people don't realise is the sheer work that it took Josiah Wedgwood to develop Jasperware. It was cutting-edge technology. He was almost like the James Dyson or the Elon Musk of his day, very entrepreneurial. At the moment, the market for this sort of Wedgwood, because it is everywhere, tends to go up and down, and at the minute it's a little bit depressed. So the price is £12, and that is a cheap price, but I'm still probably going to leave it just because typically sometimes they can struggle.
It's a no to the Wedgwood. But what else does this treasure trove have in store?
That's nice. I like this chair. We are in Cumbria, which is a very good place, in my opinion, for the arts and crafts, and it's an arts and crafts chair. You might first look at it and think, it's missing its seat, but that doesn't matter. You can easily have that replaced. This kind of period of chair might have been rushwork seat or cane work, that kind of thing originally, but it really is nice. I don't know who it's made by. I wonder if Ben would know. Ben, could you tell me if you know anything more about this chair?
Yeah, we've had it a while. When we first got it, when it first came in, we did sort of research different makers,
Yeah.
and we think that it might be a William Birch chair.
Okay.
William Birch was an arts and crafts designer who supplied posh furnishing store Liberties in the late 19th and early 20th century. What's the damage then, Ben?
I think I could probably do it for £50.
50, okay. Now, here's a question for you. If I took the screen and the chair, what's your best price for the two?
Did I say 50 for that and 50 for the chair? So that's 100. So I
I know I'm
do...
pushing my luck.
I know. I think I could probably do 90.
90, it's a deal, I'll take those.
Fantastic.
Thanks very much,
Excellent.
that's brilliant. Thanks, Ben. I'm really happy with those, I really like them. Oh, I hope they do well.
It's a good start for Steph, with the tri-folding screen and dining chair at £45 a pop, leaving her with £110 in her purse. Meanwhile, Phil's traversed hill and valley and made a detour to England's last working slate mine. To reach the entrance, he's taking a vertiginous ride with local historian Alistair Cameron.
I got to tell you, Alistair, that I'm not too fond of heights, and I don't much like mines. And I've got a horrible feeling that this is going to just encompass both those, isn't it?
It does, but don't
Thanks.
worry about it.
Yeah, that's
You'll
what
be
they
okay.
all say. So when did they start mining slate round here?
We don't know. We don't know the exact date. It could have been in prehistoric times. We do know that when records first exist, which is from the Roman period, the slate was being worked here, and it was used on some of the local buildings.
So it's like at least a couple of thousand years?
Yes.
At
absolutely.
least?
Yes, that's right.
In the 1840s, Honister Mine employed well over 100, many of whom walked many miles to reach the site. Generations of the same family worked here, even children as young as 6.
A lot of them were for some distance away, so they actually came here and worked for a week. And
Where'd they
stayed.
stop?
Well, they stayed in buildings like this. This is an old body, which was once accommodation. 8 or 9 people would live in there.
And in and around Cumbria then, how many slate mines would there have been in the 1800s, roughly?
Ah, that's a good question. I would say 30 or 40.
And how many are there now?
Well, there's one.
And that's it?
And that's this one.
You better go and show me around it, go on.
Yeah, okay.
Honister's distinctive green slate is known for its strength and durability. For over 3 centuries, it's been mined for roofs, floors and walls. It was famously used by Sir Christopher Wren at St Paul's Cathedral and can still be seen on the roof of Buckingham Palace. But extracting the slate demanded a strong constitution.
We're now in the mine,
Yes.
and these guys used to work 10-hour shifts. You'd almost be nocturnal, wouldn't you?
Yes, yeah.
Because if you know, in the winter, you imagine working down here.
That's right.
You'd come down in the dark and go out in the dark. So these working conditions, they must have just been pretty awful, really.
Yes, they weren't good. They were used to it, though. Here's something interesting.
What's that then?
This is a drill hole,
Yeah.
and you'll see it's triangular in shape.
Yeah.
And that would be a drill hole driven by hand.
But what for? What
To
drill a hole in this?
Well, put your charges in.
So basically, you drill a hole, pack it with explosives, and that's how you
Put
blew
a
it
fuse
apart,
in, yeah,
blew it
put-
apart, and get the rocks
Yeah,
out.
so you'd put a fuse in, and you'd light the fuse, and you'd get yourself out.
Yeah, I'm all for that bit.
And the explosion took place, you'd wait a few minutes, you'd come back in.
But there's got to be a real skill in that, hasn't there?
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
You'd either blow it to smithereens.
That was extremely skillful.
The growth of industrial towns in the north of England in the 18th and 19th centuries saw a surge in demand for slate roofing. To meet that demand, the workers at Honister blasted out an incredible 11 miles of tunnels.
We are coming into a large chamber here. This was worked out over probably a couple of 100 years.
This would have been just one solid lump of slate, and this has all been quarried out of
That's
this cavern.
correct,
So
yes.
this wasn't like an underground cave.
No, there wasn't a natural cave, no.
Where did we get the expertise from to be miners?
The expertise came over from skilled miners from southern Germany and northern Austria, who Queen Elizabeth I brought over quite early on in her reign, and because she was really worried that we weren't very good in this country at producing our own copper.
Our own little European economic community.
That's right.
Way in
yes,
advance.
Absolutely.
At the height of production, Honister needed an effective way to move the 20 tons of slate it produced every day.
This track here, that's the old that's not Indiana Jones, is it?
It's a 2-foot gauge rail track.
And that must have made a massive difference to their working.
It did. There were quite a few miles of it laid, 3 or 4 miles laid, in the Honister area.
Those engines were driven... I mean...
No, they were pushed. The trucks were pushed.
You pushed the trucks, so
Yes.
they weren't locomotives?
No, not until the very late on. All underground chambers had rail lines taken into them, and also on the surface of the crag there was a long incline railway.
So you'd have a truck in here with perhaps a ton of slate in it?
Yes, of
and then
several.
And then you've got to push it out?
Yes.
Do you know what? This has been very informative, but I can't wait to get out of here.
Okay, right, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Today, Honister slate is still in demand.
Hi, I'm Phil. You Paul.
All right.
Good to see you, matey. I'll tell you what, that looks easy, that. What are you doing, just bashing the stone with a hammer? How long have you been doing this?
About 20 years.
Paul, is this difficult?
Well, do you want to go?
Of course I do. So, I get myself togged up like that. Yeah. I've watched. I've looked and I've learned. Paul, this is going better than you thought, isn't it? Can you just be... oh,
no, not really.
Damn.
Back to the day job for you, Phil. Naughty. The last remaining slate mine in England, Honister tells the story of Cumbria's important role in Britain's industrial heritage, thanks in no small part to the dedication and skill of generations of miners. Steph, meanwhile, is heading 15 miles west of Honister Pass and finds herself safely near a sea level in Egremont.
So we're off to Egremont, which is home of the World Gurning Championships. So for Egremont, we'll see how we get on.
Turn that frown upside down, Steph. Her second stop of the day is Egremont Antiques.
This is a smart bit of kit, and I know straight away I can't afford it. It's £600. Ebonised style bracket clock, probably late Victorian. It's got a Wolverhampton maker's name, which is W. Cork and Sons. But I just think it's a smart bit of kit, very high Victorian, this kind of classical design. I just really like this clock.
It's a stylish find, Steph, but your pockets aren't that deep, I'm afraid. Time to move on.
Oh, now these are a bit out of character. Some sort of Islamic art type ewer. Looks like it has got age to it. And he's cool. It could be any age. It could have a great deal of age to it, or it could be relatively modern. It's really difficult to judge. A primitive African Benin-style bronze elephant sculpture. I quite like that. I don't know why I like these two, but I do.
Time to call in dealer David, methinks.
David, do you know anything more about these?
I don't know much about them at all.
We're in the same boat then.
Yeah, they've just been put to one side for further investigation. But
Do you have any idea then, even with regard to price for either of them, or actually as a pair?
I could do £35 on the two.
I will have a think. I'm going to carry on looking around, and then I'll come back to you.
Yep.
Great.
Think hard then, Steph. Without any markings to show their provenance, they're a bit of a gamble.
This is quite a smart mirror. Looks to be an oak mirror. Now, on style, I'm guessing that it's sort of early 20th century. I think it's nice. I could see it on a dressing table. It's a usable thing. It's something that's actually practical for your home. It's in good condition, looks to be. Let's have a look. Look at the back. Yeah. Looks to be pretty good condition, to be fair, but it doesn't have any price on it or any more information. So, I shall have to ask David how much it is.
David, you'll need it again. Stand lively.
David, can you tell me anything about this mirror? It hasn't got a price on it or any details or anything.
I think it's about 1920s, 30s.
Yeah.
I've got £20 on it.
£20 on
Didn't
it?
cost me a lot, so...
Great, at
do it
20 I'll
cheap.
take it.
Yep.
Thanks very
Okay,
much, I'll take
thank
it.
you.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll not say no at 20, that's great.
How about the ewer and the heifer lump?
You said 35. Is there any room on the 35?
I could do 30 for you.
You could do 30.
Yeah,
You wouldn't do any less than that?
I can't do any less
Fine.
than that, really.
30, then I'll take them.
think
That's a
we've got a
deal.
bargain there.
Thanks very much. All right, well,
I
that's
just
great.
hope they do well at the auction.
Yeah, me too.
It's another successful shop for Steph, with the mirror coming in at a very reasonable £20 and the ewer and elephant sculpture 30 combined. It's the end of the day and time for our two antiquers to reunite.
Well, you were right. It rains up here.
It does very
It does rain up here. And I should have bought some thermals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll know for next time.
Absolutely right.
Well, I hope you've got a thick pair of pyjamas then. Nighty-night. Good morning. Surprise, surprise, it's overcast in Cumbria, but there's a ray of sunshine behind the wheel.
You're in charge of navigation. Where on earth are we going?
Well, once you get to a lake, stop.
Okay.
Yeah?
I think I'm going up a mountain now.
We're exploring the Lake District in a Jaguar Mark II, just like in With Nail and I. Let's hope our duo get on a little better, eh?
Where on earth are you taking me? Are you sure this
Into a cloud. I think we're basically just travelling.
Is this on a map? Oh well, fine.
Because look, it's a public bridleway. This is a public bridleway. This isn't a
I think
road.
this isn't going to work.
No, it doesn't bode well, does it? Dear, oh dear. Anyway, yesterday, Steph spent £140 on a screen, a chair, a mirror, a ewer and an elephant.
Oh, I hope they do well.
Yeah. Phil, meanwhile, spent a mere £55 on 3 lots, including a hat stretcher, a rocking chair and that napkin holder. What's the verdict then, Steph?
Ooh. It's a little serviette holder clip thing.
Now then, I got a question for you. Do posh people say serviette or napkin?
Napkin probably do they?
Do they?
I don't know. You'd have to ask a posh person.
But I know, well, yeah.
You're asking the wrong
Oh,
person.
Steph, you are posh. So what's it worth?
Is it about 20, 30 pounds?
Done. Sold to the lady in the maroon top.
They're not the rules, and you know it.
Should we go get some mint cake?
Yeah, do you like mint cake?
Not really.
There's no time for snacking. With Steph dropped off, Phil's pootled solo through the picturesque Lake District to reach Windermere, home to the largest natural lake in England. It's attracted millions of tourists over the years, but today this antiquer is looking for an unlikely bargain. And what might that be?
This is all boats here. I mean, I can't buy a boat, but I might be able to buy something off a boat.
Time to find a local.
I'm Philip. How are you doing, mate? You all right?
Good, thanks, yeah.
So, the Antiques Road Trip works is I have to drive around in an old car and then we come to somewhere and have to buy things, and it's normally antique. So I thought, if you're going to come to Windermere, you've got to buy something to do with a boat, haven't you?
Well, you don't have to, but I think you might.
And would you be willing to sell a couple of those?
Wait, yeah? I can sell you an old pair for £35.
An old pair, 35 quid.
Yeah.
Will this float his boat?
This was Queen of the Lake Cruiser. What's the best price you can do it for?
£15.
Go on, done.
Okay.
Yeah, and presumably you're a company, so I've got to put VAT on that, haven't I?
Yeah.
So £15 is actually I've got to pay you £18 for it, haven't I?
That's fine, yeah.
OK, that will do. Lovely job. I'm happy with that. And you'll drop this off at this auction room for me?
Yeah.
Buy boat.
No problem.
Fantastic. Good man. Cheers, Mark.
Cheers.
Right, lake detour done, now into town for more conventional shopping. Let's see what Courtyard Cottage Antiques has to offer.
Hello. How are you?
Hello.
Good to see you, my love. How are you doing?
Good to see you.
I've still got lots and lots of clocks.
Yes, plenty of clocks.
I've only come in to see what the time is.
Hey, he's here all week, folks.
I want something I can make a profit in. Mm-hmm. But I also wouldn't mind buying something daft if you've got anything daft. Have a think about something daft.
Daft?
Daft, you know me, daft.
How daft?
Well, pretty daft.
Oh, okay.
Can I have a look round?
Yes, please. I'll follow you and see if you see anything.
Well, you've got lots of lovely things again, haven't you?
You old charmer.
This is a little Worcester porcelain plate. And this is painted by Harriet around about 1932. Condition is all important with porcelain, and you can see here there's some slight crazing. And I think that might be a thing to go for, but it's all down to price.
Oh, yes. Our man from Worcester knows his Worcester porcelain. This plate sports a £165 ticket price.
What have you got this? Daft. Daft as a brush. It's... What time is it? What time did you say it was?
Yes. I think we've heard that joke before. Time
flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? That's something to do with horses, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yep.
It's actually a scraper to remove sweat from horses to help cool them down. Lovely. Keep your gloves on.
One-off offer for this, right? I can give you a tenner for it, but that would be me finished.
Okay.
You sure?
Yep.
You're a star, my love. Thank you very much indeed. I'll give you some money now.
Thank you.
There we are. That's bonkers, that, isn't it? If I find a couple of other things, that could conceivably go with my hat block. Jean, I'm pleased with that, because it fits my wacky bill.
Now, what about that £165 Worcester plate then?
I could allow you to have it for £80.
I'll just have one more quick look. Are you sure about that? Because I want you to be happy. We all got to be happy.
Yes, positive.
Go on, I'm going to go before I change my mind and you change yours.
The old Cyril charm strikes again, eh? That's a very kind discount from the lovely Jean. Less than half of the original ticket price. Windermere's proved a winner for Philip, who's now left with just £37 for his final shot. Meanwhile, Steph's made her way north to Penrith. The Lowther family built this estate when King Edward granted them the land in 1283. Steph's meeting Jim Lowther to discover how his great-uncle almost cost the family its fortune, but left an incredible legacy to the world of sport.
Hi there.
Jim, hello.
Hello, Steph.
What an outstanding building.
I know, welcome to Lowther Castle. Here it is. A great big derelict wreck in the middle of Cumbria.
It's majestic.
The grand Lowther Castle was built in 1802 at a cost of £77,000. That's around 7.3 million in today's change. Lord Lonsdale, who inherited the estate in 1882 at the tender age of 25, was an ostentatious character who lived a hedonistic life.
He had no care for the world other than for himself, and he didn't have any children. So he just thought, well, I'm the last of the Lowthers. There's no more after me. I'm just going to spend it all. So he just embarked on this just incredibly flamboyant life. I mean, he had a fresh gardenia flower for his buttonhole, brought up from Covent Garden on a train every single day. He had one whole railway carriage just for his Labrador dogs. He had his own orchestra. He was a great patron of the sports. He just spent it. He had a great time.
Lord Lonsdale was known as the Yellow Earl due to his fondness for the colour.
So in here we've got
Wow.
this incredible room that we've dedicated to the Yellow Earl. The family crest is yellow, and so he decided to use this colour in all of his livery and all of his staff uniforms, servants, grooms, etc. were decked out in yellow livery. He used to spend £3,000 a year just on cigars alone, so you're talking 1910. So in today's money, that's about £167,000, or equivalent to about £3,000 in today's money per week.
It was the Earl's taste for the high life that led Lowther Castle to rack and ruin.
So in 1935, the Yellow Earl finally ran out of money. So he, in a huff, he threw the keys of this place back at his trustees and said, right, well, it's your problem.
But despite leaving his family in debt, Lonsdale left a positive legacy on his favourite sport, boxing. In the 19th century, it was illegal, underground and unsavoury. Lord Lonsdale wanted to change that, and he had money and friends in high places.
He wanted to make it legal. So he, together with a whole variety of others and his good friend, the Marquis of Queensberry, founded the National Sporting Club. And they lobbied Parliament to make it a legitimate sport with regulatory framework and with a title of its own. And so after Hugh Lonsdale and the Marquis of Queensberry, his good friend, managed to get the sport of boxing legalised through Parliament, he put up a sum of £250, or £30,000 in today's money, for a belt with carrying his name, so that he could effectively lay claim to the sport.
Over a century later, the Lonsdale belt remains a coveted prize in British boxing.
This is a very early example of a Lonsdale belt, predating the modern equivalent.
Yes, and this is one that he set up as a prize in the Grasmere Sports, which is a sporting contest that still goes on today. And that is his lasting legacy. So Lonsdale is now a well-recognised name because of its association to the Lonsdale belt of boxing.
There's only one thing for it, Steph. Costume change.
Hi Steph, I'm Charles Shepherd. I'm the former British, Commonwealth, Intercontinental and IBO Super Featherweight Champion of the world.
Wow.
And here's the belt I won headlining the Royal Albert Hall.
So the Lonsdale belt is the belt of all belts as far as boxing is concerned?
Yeah, of
British
course.
boxing.
Yeah, definitely. This is my pride and joy, you know. This is what every boxer wants.
Charles, you only put me through my paces. I'm a little bit scared.
No, there's nothing to be scared about. I want a jab, cross, OK? Jab, good.
Oh, okay, you want to go?
Jab, cross. Brilliant. Big right hand. Oh,
yay!
That was unbelievable. The body four to start with left.
She means business.
Forward, then switch.
Meanwhile, back in Windermere, Phil's run into a spot of bother with the Jag.
You know, sometimes in life when things don't quite go according to plan. And I was driving up the hill out of Windermere, and I could just feel the front end of the car starting to drift out a bit. Now, I'm not an engineer, but in antique terms, that is AF, as found or with all faults.
Sounds terminal. What's the plan, Chief?
But I've got to get it to Kendal. So, I'm going to leave the car here. I'm going to go up the road, flash a bit of leg and see if I can hitch a lift to Kendal.
You could always walk. How far is it? Better go and find out. Steph, on the other hand, has made her own way to the final shop in Kendal, which is nicknamed the Old Grey Town. Both experts are destined for the Antiques Emporium, but Steph gets first dibs.
Hello there, you must be Diane.
I am.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you
And
too.
who's this?
This is Nellie.
Oh, little one. Hello, Nellie. I don't really want to leave her, but should I go and have a look around?
You
and
have
we'll
a
find
look
you
round.
later?
Just shout if you need anything.
All right, thanks so much.
Okay.
See you in a bit.
Thank you.
All the places we've been and home. Very cool.
Oh, look who it is.
Thank you.
Better late than never, eh, Phil?
See you later.
In your own time then, Phil. Now, what's tempting Steph to spend her remaining £60?
That's interesting. Now, if I'm going to beat Phil, which I hope to, I might have to play him at his own game. It's not really my cup of tea, but I've seen Mr. Serrell playing the game before, and he does sometimes buy bits of architectural salvage, so it's an antique pulley wheel, they've described it as. I think at £43, if I could get it for about 30, I'd be happier.
Meanwhile, it seems the trials and tribulations of the day have proved too much for young Phil. You comfy, mate?
What if they got any biscuits? We could do with a biscuit.
There's no pleasing some people. Now, what are that wheels, Steph?
Diane, can I ask you about this wheel? How much can it be?
I know I can do that for 38.
Okay.
I'm presuming you would like a little bit more.
Could you make it 33? If you're not happy, I'll take it at
Yes,
35.
go on. You sure? You sure? Yep, I'll do that at 33.
You're a diamond. Thank you very much. Let me give you some money.
And with that, our local girl is all shopped out. I think you've missed a trick here, Philip.
What have you got there?
I'm trying to beat you at your own game. I've got a giant wheel.
Do you really think that is going to make a profit? No, that was a joke.
You just wait until she finds out you've broken the car.
Oh, we're hitchhiking?
You absolutely got it.
What, even though I've got this? We're hitchhiking
Come on,
with this
come on,
wheel?
come on. Just take it steady.
Take it steady.
Come on, get on with
Oh,
it.
I'm slow
Get on
at
with
this.
it.
You're probably the wheel
You buy it, you
professional.
push it. Come on, get on with it. Anyway, I'm off outside, so it's well done. See you later.
Well, that's
Yeah,
not
lovely day,
very
thanks.
gentlemanly, is
Bye.
it? Time for these two to bid Kendal farewell. Been a busy old day. Best get some shut-eye, eh? Good morning. The sun's finally made an appearance. Let's hope it's shining on our experts as the auction is upon us.
What a glorious day.
It is, but you're from Cumbria now. I think this is a top part of the world. I'm just worried that you haven't got some home advantage here.
Our duo started their journey in Steph's hometown of Cockermouth before wending their way through the Lake District to reach Crooklands, home of 1818 auctioneers who've been in the business since George III was on the throne. But don't worry, they've moved with the times and now have internet bidding. Fancy that. Both our experts took a big bite out of their budgets. Philip spent £163 on 5 lots, but what does Steph think?
Now, Phil told me he bought this because he thought it said traditional lunch, but I don't believe that for a second. He got it for an absolute steal at £18. It's an enormous sign from a boat on Windermere. It's local related, big on scale, really cool. I'll be amazed if he doesn't make a massive profit. Very jealous.
Steph also bought 5 lots, but for £173. What of the competition then, Phil?
I think this is quite cheap at £40 or £50, you know, but what Steph didn't realise when she bought it, this is a very rare antiques road trip screen because we're all on there. This is Steph. This is James Braxton many years ago when he'd lost a bit of weight. Can't think who this is here. And down here, look, we've got Paul Laidlaw. Bit more clean-shaven at home in the lakes. This is going to make a lot of money.
Today's gavel basher is auctioneer Kevin Kendall. What does he make of our road trippers' lots?
This lot with the ewer and the elephant really caught my eye. They are hard to date, but with the amount of detail on it and the design, funky little thing, I think it'll do really well. We've got the traditional rocking chair. It's quite a nice design. They are quite common, 19th century. Rush seat, the rush is in fairly good condition. There is more demand for rocking chairs than there is for a traditional kitchen chair, say. So it should do OK.
And on that note, pull up a pew, folks. It's about to begin.
Just in time, just in time.
First up, Phil's quirky lot of the hat stretcher and horse sweat scraper. Lovely.
Start me at 10. I will take 10 for a start. Interesting lot. £10 bid. 10 bid now. 10 bid. 10, 12, 12 bid. 12 bid. 15 somewhere. 15 online. 15 on the internet. Joining in here if you like. I've got 15 on the internet. £15 have you all done and selling at 15.
Not the best start, but it was a niche lot.
Nobody likes horse sweat scrapers. Maybe it's too niche.
I don't have many sweaty horses around here.
Seems not. We've had better starts now. Can Steph's tri-folding screen do any better?
And I have got bids. I'm going to start at 25 and hopefully go upwards. 25 bid now, 25, 28, 28, 30 bid. 30 bid now, 30 bid, 32, 35, 35. Anyone else now? 35, I'm going to sell it. 38, thank you. 38 bid. Ladies bid now, 38. 38, have you all done? £38 I'm selling. Have you done at 38?
It's a fun item, Steph, but maybe just not the day for it.
I'll swap you your loss for my loss.
It doesn't work like that, as you well know. Now, any messy eaters in the room? Phil's serviette clip is next.
Early 20th century, and I've got 15, 18, 20 on the internet now.
20.
£20 bid, 20 bid, 22, 25, 28. 28 now, I've got 28 standing at the back, 28, 30 now, 32, 32.
That helps, doesn't it?
32,
That's got us back to breaking even, I think.
38's going on.
38 have you all done? 40 online, 42 the lady, 42, 42, 45 online, 45 on the internet we go then, and selling at 45.
Blimey, that's a bumper profit. You've got some catching up to do here, Steph.
It's amazing.
That's helped, hasn't it?
Brilliant.
Yeah, yeah. Just have a look and see if they've got a messy shirt.
42 is the Royal Belgrave.
Yeah.
I reckon
Let's see how Steph's dressing table mirror fares.
£15, thank you, sir. 15 bid. 15, 18, 22, 5, 25 now. 25, 25, 25. £25 have you all done at 25?
It's a small win for Steph, but she can't rest on her laurels.
Are you disappointed with that or pleased with that?
I'm a little bit disappointed. I thought I might make a little bit more.
Phil's rocking chair is next.
We're going to start this at £15, which doesn't seem a lot, but it's a start. 15, 18, 22, 5, 8, 30. £30 now, 30 bid. £30 only. I'm selling at 30.
Some lucky bidder is going home with a bargain. Rotten luck, Phil.
It's a silly, bonkers low price. Yeah. Not for that chair, but for a piece of furniture like that. This stuff's no money, is it?
Now for Steph's bundled lot of the ewer and elephant.
We've got starting 18 online. 18 bid, 18, 20,
Lots of bids in the
2,
room.
5, 8, 28 in the room now, 30 in the room, 32 at the back, 35, 38, 40, 42, 45, 48, 50, 5, 60, 5, 65 pound. The bid's at the back of the room, the internet's out, and I'm going to sell at 65.
You go, girl. Another profit for Steph. Well done.
That's a good price, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. It's a good profit. Yeah, it's good. I'm happy with that.
Phil's boatyard salvaged sign is next. You'd think there'd be a lot of local interest in this.
£50. 50 if you
50's a
like.
heck of a
50.
price.
Where are we going to start today then? 30. £30 bid. £30 only bid.
30.
30 bid. £30 only. We'll sell it. £30. Have you all done? I'm selling at 30.
Not great, but not bad.
I honestly thought it would make about £80.
Victorian pulley wheels are more of a sterile thing to sell. Today, Steph's having a go. Fingers crossed.
30. Start me at 20
I'd buy
then.
this if I was allowed to.
£20 bid. 20 bid. 22. 22. 25. 25. 25. £25 if you're all done at 25.
I thought that would go for a lot more.
It's a very funny game, this is.
It is a
It's
funny
very
game.
funny game.
That it is. Up next, Phil's last lot and his biggest buy, the Royal Worcester Plate. Will it bear fruit?
35, 45, 50 online.
50 online.
£50 on the internet now. 50 bid. I'll take a 5 somewhere. 5, 55, 60, 60 bid, 60 bid. Take a 5 somewhere. 65, 70, 70 bid, £70. Have you all done? We are here to sell. I'm selling at 70.
Uh-oh, the man from Worcester bought Worcester to Cumbria, and it didn't charm the locals.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, Worcester.
£10 bid, 10, 12.
£10.
Could you look a little bit more sincere, please? Thank
I'm
you.
really sorry about the Worcester.
Steph's last lot is next, the seatless dining chair.
£30 bid, £30 bid, 30 bid, 32, 35, 35 now, 35, 38 now, new bidder, 40, 40 bid, £40, sell this time then, 42, sir. No, at £40 and selling.
Uh-oh, the bottom just fell out of that one.
You've got to remind me, when we move on in our trip, don't let me buy anything to do with Worcester.
Okay.
Nothing to do with Worcester.
Only things to do with where you are.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way forward.
Local.
Right, off we go.
Keep it local, Phil.
Well done, you two. That's the first auction over and done with. So let's do the maths. Steph started with £200. After costs, she's made a loss of just under £15, leaving her with just over £185 to play with. But Phil is today's victor, as he lost the least after costs of around £7. His biggie now contains £192.80 for the next leg.
Right, Phil, off to Bonnie, Scotland.
Absolutely.
I'll take the high road.
That leaves me with the low road.
See you there.
Next time on Antiques Road Trip.
Did you have to get a bus when you went to school?
No, it was horse and cart in those days.
Phil's another year older.
I've made a wish.
What, to make a profit at the auction?
No, that'll never happen.
But none the wiser.
It's definitely not going to fit you.
But will Steph be celebrating too?
Wow, I've struck gold.